If you step into my office, you'll always find me. Well, not exactly me, or at least not the way you'd think. It's not that I spend all of my time in the office, far from it, but something of me has rubbed off on this place. Step into my office and you'll find out a whole lot about me. The things that are important to me, the things I'm proud of, what matters most to me, and what doesn't. The stories of my life that define me the most are all right here in this room. This isn't any sort of groundbreaking observation. We all do this to some degree. Dorm rooms, apartments, houses, bedrooms, offices, lockers, classrooms, man caves, refrigerator doors. Look around. What have you put on display for visitors to see? My office tells the story of my accomplishments, the goals I've met, challenges I've taken on and seen through to the end, and others I'm still in the middle of. These are the areas where I have invested my energy, time, and money the most. Now, if you're waiting to hear me say that these were bad investments, don't hold your breath. These are good things, wholesome, beneficial, and worthy pursuits. But I can't help but wonder, just like my office, if I stepped into your life, what would rub off? During the season of Lent, believers are encouraged to fast. Fasting from certain foods is a biblical discipline. In Daniel 10, we read, "In those days I, Daniel, was mourning for 3 weeks. I ate no delicacies, no meat or wine entered my mouth, nor did I anoint myself at all for the full 3 weeks." Jesus himself expected his disciples to fast and issued instructions for how they should do so. Remembering the 40 days Christ spent fasting in the desert before entering his public ministry, we imitate Christ by spending 40 days without. Without what? Without something good. When we fast, our hunger gives us a good hard look at the good things in our lives. How much space they occupy in our hearts. How much power they have over us. How dependent we've become on them. If they have been serving us, or if we've been serving them, if the good things are still good at all. Paul had a sort of epiphany after coming to know Christ, that even his greatest accomplishments had to fall in their proper place. Indeed, if others have reason for confidence in their own efforts, I have even more. I was circumcised when I was 8 days old. I'm a pure-blooded citizen of Israel and a member of the tribe of Benjamin. A real Hebrew if there ever was one. I was a member of the Pharisees, who demanded the strictest obedience to the Jewish law. I was so zealous that I harshly persecuted the church, and as for righteousness, I obeyed the law without fault. I once thought these things were valuable, but now I consider them worthless because of what Christ has done. Yes, everything else is worthless when compared with the infinite value of knowing Christ Jesus, my Lord. For his sake, I have discarded everything else, counting it all as garbage, so that I could gain Christ and become one with him. I like to imagine that Paul had an office like mine. To a fellow Jew, there's nothing wrong with Paul's list of accomplishments, but after meeting Christ, Paul realized something he once thought was good was worthless. What do you do when confronted with this sort of news? Satish is a new Christian. He was raised in a Hindu home to Hindu parents, in a predominantly Hindu town in India. His whole family prayed to the same Hindu god, and on display in Satish's room was a wooden idol to their god. When his father got sick, they prayed to their god. When his father got worse, they brought in a Hindu healer. Still, his condition didn't improve. One day, a missionary came to Satish's house and invited him to come to hear about Jesus. After his first visit, Zatish shared the news with his family. After his third visit, his family began following Jesus. When he came home that night, he went to his room where his idol was kept and said, "I believe you have 2 ears. I believe you have 2 eyes, and I believe you have a mouth. But I also believe all the time I served you, you never heard me with your ears, and you never saw me with your eyes, and you never spoke to me with your mouth. But my Jesus, he hears me, he sees me, and he speaks to me." As you look around your house, what do you see? If you see emblems of hard work that's paid off, you have nothing to be ashamed of. Those are good things. But the season of Lent reminds us that good things can become our idols, and even the best things pale in comparison to knowing Christ. May you allow God to search your heart during this season. May you invite him into your home to have a look around. And may his counsel lead you in the way of everlasting.